Hi, I'm Gina, and I'm here tonight with a walk down memory lane, and we're going to do a little talk about misting. I have a Maya mist here that we're going to use. This one is antique silver, and then I've also got a couple different colors of glimmer mist. So let's just go ahead and get started, and we'll talk about just a few of the different things you can do with glimmer mist. Alright, so we're going to start off really simple. I'm just going to talk about a few really basic things that you can do with glimmer mist. We could talk for hours about all the things you could do, but we're just going to start off simple. If you've seen any of my layouts, you know I kind of like the messy look. So one of my favorite things to do is to just spray some glimmer mist over the background in kind of random places. When you're shaking up your glimmer mist or any type of mist, you want to make sure that there's not any clumps down on the bottom, but don't shake it up like this. You just kind of want to tap it against your hand like you would a bottle of fingernail polish, or you're probably going to clog up your sprayer and it won't work as well. So, like I said, my favorite thing is just to kind of spray in some random spots over my background, maybe even mix in another color. And then I'd either let that dry or take my heat gun to it and dry it up just a little bit, and then work on top of that to finish up my layout. But some other fun things to do are to mask, obviously. Now you can mask with positive shapes or with negative shapes. Right here I have a piece of chipboard, and I'm not afraid to use my chipboard for a mask, even if it's something that I think I'm going to want to use again later, because I'm not going to want to use the naked chipboard. I'm going to do something to it, whether it's spray it with glimmer mist or paint it, cover it with paper, whatever it is. I'm not going to want to use it plain. So there's really no reason not to use it for a mask. I'm just going to mix up my Maya mist here, and we'll spray it a little bit. Another fun thing, you could take that off, then just move it a little bit, and spray again. And then you'll have a nice double layer of masking there. You can also use negative spaces though. Like I save all my chipboard after I've finished using. See, I have used all the pieces out of this chipboard, and then I just cover up the parts that I'm not going to want. Then I use some old mail to cover this up. Then I've got my bracket left, so we'll just pop it down there and do a few sprays on it. And then that leaves me with my bracket. So you can use positive shapes or negative shapes, and obviously you can use punched shapes. You can use anything that you could cut out by hand or on a personal die cut machine. Basically, if it's going to cover up part of your paper and you like the design, you can use it. Another thing I really like using, we'll just go ahead and do the back of this one, is found objects or household objects as well. And I like to use my Pampered Chef cooling rack. It's got that nice grid pattern on it. And I just lay it down, pop the legs up so they're not in the way. Lay it down upside down. Then just give it a couple spritzes. And it makes a really fun background design that you can see there. Just a nice grid, kind of understated, and it's really fun. And I really like that one. So don't forget about using household objects as well. And then finally, I wanted to talk about mask that you can purchase commercially. And this little compass mask right here is a Tim Holtz mask. Heidi Swapp also has a lot of masks. And they just peel off. When you first get these, especially this one, you can see it has a whole lot of little detail. You're going to want to take a close look at your mask and make sure that all those little pieces are pulled out, or else you're not going to get the full image. You just stick it down there on your paper and then spritz over it. You can peel it right up and you'll have a nice clean image there. And then for your mask to clean them up, if it's really bad, you can run it under water. You can just pat it with a paper towel, wipe it off a little bit, and they're as good as new. I also have a set of border masks here by Tim Holtz. Yep, no, the glare's not as bad. And these are a really good deal because there's 4 different border masks. These are long enough to fit on your 12 by 12 page, so you can cover up the whole thing. And you can just decide what you want, or even if you just want part of it, just lay it off your page. So those are really nice. And there are just so many different things that you can do with Glimmer Mist. Lastly, I wanted to show you some fun paper. Lots of different companies are coming out with this paper that's embossed. You can see how the doilies are kind of shiny. They're raised and embossed, and they'll resist your mist if you spray it on. You can see I've already done some of it. So we'll just spray a little bit more on so you can see here. And then once you take your paper towel, you can just dab off the doilies because they resist the mist. And then you've got the color on the background, but the doilies still show up. Several different companies have papers like that now, and you can also make your own just by using your stamps and some clear embossing powder. But that's something that we'll probably cover in a different tutorial. And don't think that you have to limit yourself to your background paper or your cardstock. You can spray all sorts of things. You can change the color of flowers or chipboard. This is a little frame that I have on my entryway. This was a hot pink bird that I sanded down and then sprayed it. So even chipboard that's already covered, if you get off the glossy part that would resist, you can still spray it. And I was also going to show you a few finished layouts here just so you can get an idea. This pink was really a lot bolder than I wanted it to be. So I sprayed the entire background with some Coffee Shop Glimmer Mist, and then up at the top I went with a punched out circle that I just used half of to get this scalloped border up at the top to kind of repeat this scallop that I had down here. This is another one where I just sprayed the background, but then I also pulled out the dropper, and you can just kind of fling it down on your paper and you'll get some bigger splatters, which is how I got these bigger splatters around for the more random look. And then I also used a star punch to mask up here, and then I actually used some of the stars punched out of a different paper to add another accent. And I did pretty much that same thing with this one in blue with a heart punch. I think this is a Stampin' Up! Heart punch, and then I added some of the actual hearts to it as well. So those are just some different things that you can do with Glimmer Mist. I also wanted to note, you can see that I'm spraying here on this cardboard shoebox lid, but I noticed that Lisa has a thing in the shop called a color catcher, which has 3 sides on it so that you don't have to worry about overspray from any direction, and it doesn't cost very much at all. I think it was like $4 or $5. So I am definitely ordering one of those next month. But you can use pretty much anything. You just want to make sure you protect your surface. So that's just some very, very simple basics of what you can do with mist. And I can't wait to see what you do with it. Thanks for joining us.